19 million war veterans living in the United States today. 19 million men and women who've lived extraordinary lives. 19 million stories worth telling. Stories about big wars and small gestures. These are the Americans who witnessed history. These are the wars as seen through their eyes. These are the stories of veterans from World War I, World War II, and the Korean, Vietnam, and Persian Gulf Wars. Each day, we lose 1,500 of those who served, and we lose more of our history as their stories go untold.
Recording those stories is a part of America's history. The entire story will come together when you tell your part of it.
Millions of Americans. Millions of stories. Tell your story. Ask others theirs. There's no story or sacrifice too small.
I urge all Americans, veterans and non-veterans alike, to participate in this very, very important project. Veterans help to shape our nation's future. And only by understanding what they did for us can we truly understand the price of freedom.
Hello, my name is Frank Boring. I am the Director of Oral History at the Michigan Military Preservation Society. We are a nonprofit organization that's building the Michigan Military Air, Land, and Sea Museum at the Gerald R. Ford International Airport. What you've just seen is an excerpt from a promotional film that was put out by the Library of Congress Veterans History Project. The Library of Congress Veterans History Project is an attempt to gather material, oral histories, documents, diaries, letters from all over the country of our veterans. Here at the Michigan Military Museum, we are a partner archive with the Library of Congress. What this means is that all the materials that we gather stay here in Michigan. We identify them, we put them into a database, and we will make them available to future generations to access through our website. What you're about to see is a raw, uncut oral history interview. At some later date, we will actually edit these and make them available through the schools. At this point, you will have an opportunity to see what it's like to have an actual oral history interview. These will be going on each week with a different veteran. We hope you enjoy. Let's begin with your name and where and when you were born.
Well, my name is Jane, Mildred Jane, but I go by Jane.
Right.
Doyle. My maiden name was Bessler, and I was born in Grand Rapids, 1921.
Oh my goodness.
October 1921.
October 1921. What was your early schooling like here in Grand Rapids?
I went to what was then Lafayette School. It's now Vandenberg Academy of Arts, I think.
You're going to play with my card. I can see that. So bring your card over here. Okay, we will look at that later. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I went to grade school there, and then I went to South High School in the 7th grade and graduated from South High School in '39.
Wow.
And then I went to what was then Grand Rapids Junior College in 1940, and University of Michigan 1941 to 43.
Now, at that time, as a girl, how did you figure out you're going to go to college? I mean, a lot of girls at that time were either going to be married or else they're going to be a teacher or a nurse or something. How did you decide that you're going to go into college?
Well, my parents were, from the time I can remember, said that we were going to go to college because they never had. And I think my mother went through the 6th grade, and my father came from Germany. And then he went to correspondence school after he got to this country and worked for the railroad, and they both wanted us to, there were 4 of us, and they wanted us to have a good education.
So education was part of your whole family?
It was very important.
Wow, that's wonderful. Did you know what you wanted to do when you went to school?
No.
So they pretty much picked it out for you?
Well, my brother was an architect, and he went to the University of Michigan, and I always admired my brother so much that I thought, that's what I want to do. So I went there and went into interior design.
Okay, all right. And, now, you're in college studying interior design, but the war is brewing out there. Were you aware of what was going on in Germany and Japan and during that period?
Well, I was, because when I was at junior college, I was taking engineering drawing at that time, so I could transfer to the U of M. And the professor, or the instructor in engineering class, came in and told the class that, which was all boys, I was the only girl in the class, that there was going to be a summer program to train pilots. See, that was 1939.
Oh, wow, okay.
And the war was already brewing in Europe.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
And so the United States decided, or, well, the Air Force decided that they needed more pilots, and so they started this civilian pilot training program.
Was this Army Air Corps?
It was the Army Air Corps at that time.
Okay, yeah, because we didn't have an Air Force at that time.
No, it was the Army Air Corps.
Yeah. So you're the one girl in all this class of guys, okay, and they're offering this pilots thing. Was there any reaction to your volunteering to get involved in it? Did they think you were a nut or something?
Well, I don't know what they thought, but I didn't care what they thought. I wanted to do it.
Good for you.
So I thought, oh, this sounds great. I want to do this.
Oh, my goodness. So what was the process of actually signing up for this thing?
Well, I had to go through the physical, and when they first started the program, they said that women had to be 5'4", the same height as men. And so I thought, well, that lets me out. But I thought, maybe I can stretch 2 inches. So I started stretching and everything. But then they lowered it to 5'2½".
Oh, okay.
So I just got in.
Just got in. Yeah, my mom is 5'2", actually.
Yeah.
So.
And so I had to take the physical, and we had ground school training, and then we went out to the airport, and we were split into 3 classes at the airport.
Now, you're still in school?
I was at junior college.
Yeah,
this was a summer.
Okay.
Summer
so,
of 1940.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
So, where did you train?
We trained at the airport in Grand Rapids.
In Grand Rapids?
We had our ground school at junior college.
Oh, okay. Ground school was mainly like school classes, that kind of thing?
Yes.
Okay.
You have to have so many hours of ground school and pass the ground school test.
How many people were in your class?
There were 30 altogether.
And how many were women?
There were 3, but I was the only one that
eventually
got my
passed.
license.
Yeah. 3 women out of the whole 30. Was there any kind of reaction from the guys that you're there? I mean, this is so unusual.
No, because I played in the band too.
Okay.
And so there were a lot of them from the band that were in that class.
Oh, okay. So you were accepted?
I was accepted.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
And then when I was in high school, I was an ROTC sponsor, so I was accepted in that. I tried all these things that sounded interesting.
Adventurous young lady.
At that time.
Oh, my goodness. All right, so ground school is pretty much classroom kind of stuff, all right? But now you're getting into the actual training, flying. Tell us about that. What was that experience
Well,
like?
I had to get out to the airport. My parents didn't have a car, so that was a little problem, but I found a way to get out there. I think probably the bus or the streetcar. I don't remember what went out there at that time. But that was every day we had flight instruction. And after 6 hours, we soloed, and there was 35 hours of flight.
What kind of airplane were you flying?
It was a Piper Cub.
Oh, okay. One seat?
Well, it was
adapted for
tandem, one in back of the other.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the instructor would sit behind you.
Yes.
You would then have to
Sit in the
taxi
front.
and take off
Yes,
and all the basic stuff first, and eventually you got a chance to solo.
Yes.
What was that like?
Oh, that was quite an experience.
Oh,
I loved it. But then we had acrobatics too. We had an area where we would go out and do acrobatic spins and loops, and that we had to go through all those things so that in case of emergency, you know how to handle the plane. And so I got my private license that summer then.
Well, that summer you're living at home?
Yes.
Okay, and you're either taking the trolley or however you're getting.
Yeah, I don't remember how I got there, but I got there.
You got there. That's the important thing.
I might have walked even just to get there.
The actual training base itself, was there like 1 airplane, 2 airplanes, 20 airplanes? I mean, how big was this place?
Well, there were the 2 air services at the airport at that time, and there was Northern Air Service and Becker Air Service.
Okay.
And so there were 20 of them that were training at Northern and 10 at Becker.
Okay.
And so there was just, they had several planes, but I think we probably just used 1. I don't remember.
So the airport as we see it now, and our office is out at the airport, there's nothing like that now. I mean,
No, this was at the end. This was at the end of Madison Avenue. The old airport.
Okay. All right. And so this is just, what kind of a runway was it?
Well, commercial planes came in, and the Ford Tri-Motor.
Okay.
That came in.
Yeah.
And I think it was probably United Airlines had a flight in. It was just, they were small, but, but it was used commercially too.
Okay. Was there a building out there, or hangars and things like that?
There were 2 hangars.
Okay. Just 2 hangars?
2 hangars.
Oh my goodness. Was there a tower or anything?
Yes, there was a tower. And
I'm just trying to visualize it because, you know, I look at an airport today and you're talking about a modern airport with the roads and all that.
It, well, it extended from about 28th Street. See, where Madison went just past 28th Street, I think. And from there over to about 32nd, 44th. It wasn't too large, but it was large enough for planes at that time.
Right, sure. Was this an exciting time for you?
Oh, it was. I loved it.
We were talking before the interview, before we got on camera, about how I had talked to so many pilots. I grew up in an airline family, and pilots just have this excitement. They're flying. They're flying.
Well, there were quite a few of them, fellows that weren't in the program that were. They weren't instructors yet, but they were flying out there, and they were barnstormers.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
So I went barnstorming a few times.
You
with
did?
them too.
For those people who don't know what barnstorming is, explain what is barnstorming.
Well, they would fly to some small field out in the country, and anybody that wanted to go up for a ride, they'd take for a ride, and then they would do some stunts and that type of thing. And,
because this is before television. This is before all that kind of mass communications that we have. So it was exciting for people to actually see somebody get into a piece of wood and fly,
canvas
and wood and fly around. And you say you barnstormed?
I went with them.
Oh, okay.
And I flew some of it, but
I
didn't do any of the acrobatics then because I didn't have my license.
So when did you graduate from, get your pilot's license? What year was that?
Well, that was 1940 that I got my private license.
Right, right.
And that was 35 hours of flight time.
What was the purpose of you getting a pilot's license?
So I could fly if I wanted to.
Yeah, but was there any kind of career idea here?
No, not really. Well, I had kind of wanted to be an airline stewardess, but at that time you had to be a nurse to be an airline stewardess. And I couldn't be a nurse, and that was one thing I couldn't do. And so I thought, well, maybe I can fly instead. So,
because the reason why I'm asking, Jane, is because there really wasn't very many options. It's not like you could go fly for UPS or, go fly for United Airlines or something at that time.
There were a few women in the country who were instructors at that time, but not very many, because when the war started, there were about, I think, 39 that had. Or about 45 that had commercial licenses or instructor's license. And that was in the entire country at that time.
So once you got your pilot's license, you're still in school? Or
yes.
All right. What happened next?
Well, then I went down to the University of Michigan after that summer. And you could, they had an advanced program down there, but they wouldn't let women in it. So in order
even though you had a license?
Though I had a license. And in the advanced program, you'd get a commercial license. So they had the Civil Air Patrol at that time, so I flew with the Civil Air Patrol to keep up my hours. You had to have so many hours a year.
What, for the purpose of, once again, because people don't know, what was the Civil Air Patrol?
It was a civilian group that was formed to, as observation pilots or rescue pilots, and it still exists, the Civil Air Patrol. They do rescue work and for looking for downed planes or something like that.
So this is like almost like the firemen. These are volunteers, and you knew how to fly, and so something happens. Maybe there's a fire in a forest or something, and you'd fly over to try and find people that may be on the ground.
Yes, it was more observation.
Observation. Okay.
And of course, I didn't have a plane, so I flew with anybody that would take me.
What happened next? Was this, in terms of America, Pearl Harbor is looming in the distance here. Is that the next major thing that happened to you? Was when?
Well, that's right after Pearl Harbor. Then I got a telegram from Jacqueline Cochran, and she was looking for any women pilots in the country who were interested that had a private license for training.
Okay, let's not jump ahead too fast. Where were you, and what was your reaction? How did you find out about the attack on Pearl Harbor?
I was in school at the time. It was a Sunday morning, and I'd gone over to do some extra work over in the drafting room at the College of Architecture. And while I was working there, someone came in and announced it. One of the other students had heard it on the radio, I presume. And
did you know where Pearl Harbor was?
I knew where it was, but I didn't really know too much about it. But I knew there was a Navy base there.
What was the reaction of the people around you?
Everybody was just stunned, because that was going to change mostly the men's lives that were there at school. They were all going, a lot of them left right away and were drafted, or, well, they weren't drafted, but they signed up for the service.
So the school, I mean, I told you earlier, I talked to Mary Jean Brooks. She was in college at the same time. It's like the whole college just disappeared. The men just left. It was gone. Is that what happened?
Well, quite a few, but then they brought in programs. Like the Navy had the program where they V12 or something that they had programs where the men would come and take so many courses at the university, and I think that probably kept them going during the war.
Oh yeah, yeah. They were used
military
for training.
programs.
Yeah, military programs came in, but it was a completely different environment now.
It was.
What was your reaction to Pearl Harbor, in terms of you personally, how that was going to, you said that some of the men, obviously they knew they were going to be drafted or they had to join. What was your reaction?
I was just stunned. I don't remember exactly what my reaction was, but I know it was quite an experience to hear that right at that time. I think we probably all went home, turned on our radios, and to see what was happening. You know,
the vets that I've talked to that remember that day so vividly as you have, their course was set. They either waited to be drafted or else they said, I'm going to join. So there was this purpose. What about you? What was, did you have options? Did you think about the options you had, or because you didn't have to go?
No, but they weren't really taking women yet at that time, see? So that's it. As soon as I got the telegram that they were looking for women pilots, I said I wanted to do it.
Explain who Cochran was.
Jacqueline Cochran was the head of the WASP program. She was an old-time pilot.
Did you know of her before?
I had heard of her.
Okay, okay.
And she had won the Bendix Air Race, which was well-known race at that.
Oh, it's like the Grand Prix. Yeah, this was
at that
big.
time. And she had won that, and that was in 1938. And then she was invited by Eleanor Roosevelt to come and meet she and the president. And she, at the time, said if there was ever a time that women pilots were needed, that she was sure that she could get enough women pilots to serve. And so she sent out this telegram for those that were interested. And of course, I responded right away, but I had promised my parents I would finish college first before I went in.
Well, let's. I realize it's a long time ago, and it's difficult to kind of dig through all those cobwebs sometimes. But when you got the telegram, what was your reaction to that?
Oh, I thought I was thrilled, because I thought, here's my chance to really fly and do something. And
how old were you? This is, well, you're about 20-something, right? 20?
This was 1940, 42.
42, okay. So
I was 21.
21 years old. And here's this woman that you've heard about. She won the Bendix, and you got this telegram saying, are you in? What did the telegram actually say?
Just to, well, I have the telegram with me.
Oh, okay. Well, to see that.
Just
to
roughly,
to
respond, if I was interested, more information would follow, to respond to it, and more information would follow.
So what happened next? What did you do?
So then I just waited, and finally I got the notice to go to Selfridge Field.
Well, wait a minute. You didn't just wait, because you responded, right?
Yes.
Okay. You sent a letter, or?
I sent a letter.
Oh, okay. Say, yes, I am interested.
Yes.
Please send me more information.
Yeah.
Okay. And then?
Then I had to wait for
a while,
because there were, at first the requirements were $200 fine, but then with her program, it would be anybody with a private license that would be trained.
Okay.
The others, Nancy Love was also interested in using women pilots, but she really started those that flew for the Ferry Command, and that was more well known than the WASP program.
Were at the time. Yeah. Were both of these women? You already mentioned that Cochran was. So was she known to you as well? I mean, in terms of.
I had seen things about Nancy Love. She was also probably in the Bendix race, but she was a well-known pilot at that time too. Right. In fact, I think she was the first woman that had a commercial license.
Oh, okay. Okay. But
I knew the name.
Okay. So she was looking for ferry pilots. Cochran was looking for what? For
women to train to fly the military aircraft, to do others jobs rather than just the Ferry Command.
Okay.
It was tow target with some and test pilots and pilots for navigator training, all different types of things. She wanted women trained to fly any type of military aircraft.
And that was interesting to you. Look at that smile. Yeah. I tell you, pilots are a different breed of cat. I'm telling you right now. So you waited for a while, and then finally they responded to you. What happened next?
Well, then I had to go to Selfridge Field and have the physical, and then wait again.
Selfridge is where?
That was in Detroit, outside Detroit.
Okay. What was your parents' reaction to this?
Well, they were, anything I wanted to do, really, they were behind me.
You know, they wanted you to be educated, and so now you're going into this adventure, and that's wonderful.
But their reaction was finish college first, so that you have something to come back to, you know. Okay. And when my brother was in the service, and he had been called into the Navy, and so.
Did he enlist?
No, he was commissioned in the Navy.
Oh, okay, okay.
And so they were proud to have their family serve the country.
How many of your family? How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I had 3 sisters and 1 brother.
Okay, so the brother went off to be in the Navy.
And my oldest sister went in the Red Cross, and my other sister was. She was married and living in Lansing.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So you go to Detroit by train?
I took the train. My father worked for the railroad, so I could get passes on the train, which was very helpful.
See, my father worked for an airline, so we were able to travel on airplanes that way. I know exactly what you mean. Give me an idea of, and I want you to be as visual as possible. You get off the train, okay, and you're about to embark on a whole new part of your life, and you're a young girl.
I know, and there's parts of those times I wonder, what did I do at that time? I don't really remember. You know, like as you say, when I got off the train, how did I get off the train and get to the... But,
where did you end up?
I managed somehow.
Okay, but where did you end up? After you got off the train, where did you go in Detroit? Where was this training?
Well, I had to go to Selfridge Field. I remember that, and that was in... It was outside Detroit, Mount Clemens.
Well, what did it look like? I mean, I need to see what you're talking about. What did it look like? What did Selfridge Field look like when you arrived?
Oh, it was a huge air base at that time. And as I say, I remember going there. I remember the physical, but I don't remember, you know, too much other about it. That I got there and I did it.
Well, there was barracks, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there must have been a chow hall. Someplace to eat.
Well, I didn't stay. I only stayed that one day.
Oh, okay.
That was only one day.
So this was the physical. Did you get your uniforms by this time, or?
We didn't have uniforms.
Oh.
No, we had, when we went in training, the uniforms we had were those that were left over from the British cadets that had been there at Sweetwater. And we called them zoot suits because the way they fit, they were like a zoot suit. And then we had to buy our own clothes.
Oh my goodness.
We were civilians. We weren't military.
Yeah, people don't realize that. Yeah.
We were hired by civil service because Congress didn't authorize us to be in the military. And so that was the big reason that the program was disbanded, because by the time Congress did vote to have us in the military, there was a lot of opposition to women pilots.
Yeah.
And so it never passed.
We'll get to that later. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
So you were there in Selfridge for only one day, and where'd you go from there?
I went back to Ann Arbor, back to school.
Okay.
See, this was in 1942, and I didn't graduate until 43.
Oh, okay.
So
in 43, you graduate from school with a degree in
design.
Design. Okay. What were your options at that point?
Well, I had an offer to go to work in Detroit for Hudson's in their interior design department, but I wanted to fly. And then my brother, he worked for an architect in Detroit, and my brother was in the service at that time, but the architectural firm came and interviewed me and wanted me to come with them, but I still wanted to fly. So I said, I'll put that on hold until after the war.
So what did you do?
So I stayed in school and graduated, and then I worked for 2 months after I graduated, because I had to wait to get into the program, and then when I got to know.
Well, wait to get into what program?
Into the WASP program.
Okay. So this was well, we were talking about options earlier on. You had an architectural option. You wanted to fly. So how did this WASP opportunity? You knew that you could join the WASP if you wanted to. Okay.
Yeah. And when I finally I was accepted in the program, see, there were about 28,000 that applied. Women that applied for it, but there were only 1,800 that were accepted. And
wow.
So I was very fortunate to be accepted into the program. And then there were just 1,000 that graduated from training.
I don't want to embarrass you, okay, but this is important, okay. What was the process of being accepted?
Probably my grades in college, and the fact that I did have a private license, and that I had been in the ROTC at one time, sponsoring the ROTC, and just overall character.
Yeah, it's important we realize that.
Yeah.
So, how did you find out you were accepted?
I got a notice, a letter.
You were at home?
No, I was still in school.
Oh, still in school, okay.
And that was in June, but I had to wait until November for the opening, for a class to be open. Yeah.
You open up the letter and you read it. What did that feel like?
Oh, I couldn't wait. I thought I have to wait until November. So
the impatience of youth.
So that's why I worked. I stayed in Ann Arbor and worked that summer.
Yeah.
And then went right from Ann Arbor.
Chomping at the bit.
Yeah.
So let's begin at the beginning of your journey now. Okay, you've been accepted. You've done your summer. Where did you go next?
Well, I came back to Grand Rapids and took the train to Sweetwater, Texas. And
that's a distance.
As they say, my father had worked for the railroad, so I had a pass to get to Sweetwater, Texas. Right. And I can remember going there at that time. There were so many military traveling across the country at that time that there weren't even seats on the train.
Wow.
Half the time you stood and half the time you shared a seat, or back and forth.
Well, wait a minute. All these guys are sitting down. You're a woman. You're supposed to stand up.
That didn't matter. I think there were probably a few other women on the train, but I didn't know anybody. I was all by myself.
Oh, the Hollywood movies are all wrong. I can't believe this.
And when I got off the train at Sweetwater, there wasn't hardly anything there. A hotel, and that was about it. And I thought, oh, what am I doing?
Yeah, what am I doing here? So what was there was a base there?
There was an airfield.
Okay.
That had been used to train British pilots.
Okay.
But then when the WASP program started, which the first class went there, I think in January of 44.
44?
43, November,
43,
about
okay.
November of 43.
Okay, all right.
Because I graduated in 44 there, from there. But then when the first girls went there, the British cadets were still at the field, so they sort of took over half the field in the barracks.
Were you part of the first wave or the second wave or the third? I mean,
well, right about in the middle.
Okay. So women had already gone through this.
Every month there was a new class.
Okay.
And they had started in Houston because there wasn't any place for them to go. And as I say, we paid our own way there, and there were no uniforms or anything.
Wow.
And
well, what did you wear?
well, then when we were there, we wore these coveralls, these zoot suits.
Yeah, are you talking about like the zipper? You step into one of those one-piece things?
Well, they didn't have zippers; they had buttons.
Oh, okay. But was it a
they
one-piece?
They were a coverall, a one-piece coverall.
Okay, all right, yeah. I know what you mean now. Yeah.
Yeah, and the flight suits that we had. See, this was in November that I started training down there, and we flew open cockpit planes. So our flight suits were the heavy leather with sheep lining, and they were rather large too, and the boots were large. Everything was large.
What about
helmets?
Like canvas?
No.
Okay.
No, it was a leather helmet.
Leather helmet. Okay. Covering the ears.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. What were you flying?
Well, when we got there, we flew PT-19s, which was a Fairchild's. It was the first trainer, and then after about 4 hours in that, they brought Stearman's in, which was the PT-17.
Which is what the men were training in too.
Yeah.
Stearman's were the men.
So we finished our primary training in Stearman's.
Now, where were you staying? Where did you?
Well, there were barracks on the base.
All right.
And we stayed there and ate there, and we could get off for a few hours on the weekend sometimes.
Into Sweetwater?
Yeah.
The Metropolis?
But there wasn't much in Sweetwater. Yeah,
well, let me try and understand the actual base itself. Mm-hmm. How many barracks were there? I mean, not an exact number, but approximately.
Maybe
2, 3, 5?
No, maybe 10.
Okay.
But they were long barracks with like a little courtyard in between.
Okay.
And there were 6 of us in one room.
Okay.
And then there was a
stacked bunks or just?
No, side by side.
Side by side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Then there was the bathroom in between, and then 6 more on the other side.
Showers and?
There were showers.
Okay. All right. So you're able to, okay.
Yeah.
Where did you eat?
We ate in a mess hall.
So there was actually a physical mess hall, buffet style, just like you see in the military. Slop.
Green beans. So I never wanted to see another green bean, even for breakfast. Green beans.
Oh gosh.
And then we had physical PT, physical training, and ground school.
What was a typical day like? You get up in the morning. I mean, explain how that whole day went.
Well, we got up with the bugle call, and it was about 6 o'clock in the morning, I think, the bugle call, and then we went to the mess hall and ate, and then it was divided that one group would go to ground school and the other would go to flight training. We were divided into 2 groups, and there were about, I think there were 40 in my class, so maybe 20 in each group.
Okay, and you were part of the, which one were you in?
Well, alphabetically.
Oh,
so,
wow, okay.
It went to the middle of the alphabet.
Okay.
And so I was in the one group. But as they say, one group would go to flight training while the other was in ground school, then the next week it would change, alternate.
All by alphabetically.
But if we had flight school in the morning, I mean, we went to flight line in the morning, then we had ground school in the afternoon.
I see. And then sometimes
vice
reversed.
versa.
Okay. What was the physical training like?
It was regular calisthenics and push-ups and chin. What do you call it?
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
And,
was there a drill instructor, male or female?
Male.
I mean, obviously, in the movies and TV, you hear them screaming in your face and all that. What was the drill?
It was sort of like that.
Was it? Okay. So they were really.
They were we had to go through the same training the cadets went through.
Oh.
Yeah. It was the same program.
Wow.
And
was there any, I don't want you to talk out of school here, but was there any indication they were treating you differently than they would with the men?
Some of the instructors. They were civilian instructors that we had. And there were some of them that sort of resented that we were getting military training and they weren't in the service.
Themselves, yeah.
But some people had problems, but if you didn't get out of line, why, you were all right.
Yeah. You pretty much, you just did what you were told to do. And how did you put up with the physical? Did you adapt okay? I mean, you were physically healthy and... It was hard, but you could get through it.
Yes,
You're tired at the end of the night. And,
oh, yes.
yeah.
And getting up in the morning. I'm not a morning person, so that was bad.
Neither am I. Oh, gosh.
Yeah. And then we had barracks inspection where you had to have everything just spotless. And everything. It was the same training.
It's interesting because you're civilians, yet you're being treated like you're in the military. It's basic training.
It was. And even after we graduated, we were still civilians, but we were under military orders. So.
Did you have, at that time, did you have communication from outside? Did you get newspapers, radio? Did you know what was going on in the world?
Not much, mostly through letters from home and that type of thing.
So you were communicating with your family?
Yes.
Did you keep those letters?
No.
Oh!
I didn't.
Don't ask it. Don't tell a historian that. Not on television. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Were you homesick?
Not really. I was too busy to be homesick, and I was doing something that I liked to do.
Yeah, that's what I figured. That's what I figured. Yeah.
And as I say, I kept in touch, with my parents and knew what was going on at home. So. And they were thrilled that I was in it.
What about concern for your brother? Where was he?
He was in the Pacific on a destroyer, and his destroyer was hit, but he came out of it all right. So.
But there was still concern.
Yes.
What's going to happen? You graduated. Was there a ceremony?
Yes.
What was that like? Come on. What was that like?
Jacqueline Cochran and General Arnold came.
Hap Arnold? Wow.
And we were presented our wings. And see, for the first few classes, Jacqueline Cochran bought the wings. The military, they wouldn't even buy the wings for us. And so up until about 2 classes before mine, the wings were different for each class. When they were started out in the Ferry Command, it had the globe on it, and then after that, the wings had the number of the class on it. But then it was a standard wing with a diamond shape in the center for the rest of the classes. And I can remember graduation very well because when Jacqueline Cochran gave me my wings, she said, "How did you get in here?" Because I was so short. And most of the girls, my best friend, that was one of my barracks mates, was almost 6 feet tall, and so the two of us were around together most of the time, and they call us Mutt and Jeff. But I kept trying to stretch, and when I'd fly, I had to take 3 pillows with me.
Oh my goodness!
So.
That moment when Cochran pins on your wings, that had to be amazing.
It was. My parents had come from Grand Rapids too. They came down for the ceremony. Wow. And they were there.
See, the closest I can associate to that was I made Eagle Scout in the Boy Scouts. And my father is the one that pinned on my medal. And I will always remember that for the rest of my life. That moment where they just, and you're just standing there and you got your wings.
Yeah.
Oh.
See, they would have a parade of all the classes and march by a reviewing stand, and it was really the same as the cadets program.
Did Cochran make a speech?
Yes. Yeah.
It was kind of an inspirational, you women are. I mean, what was the gist of it? What do you remember about it?
I don't remember.
Okay, yeah.
Really.
Yeah. So what happened after graduation?
Well, then I got a flight back to, I happened to know a fellow that was from Detroit, and he was stationed at a nearby air base.
Okay, yeah.
And so he got leave and flew me back to Detroit.
You know, this is something unheard of today. There's no way this could happen.
Yeah.
But I've talked to other vets from this area who were pilots or whatever. One of them who eventually married his wife, he flew her back to Grand Rapids before they were married, flew her back there so she'd be with her parents, and that really impressed her that he could fly her to Grand Rapids in this airplane.
Yeah, we flew into Romulus, and then I got the train home from Romulus.
Wow.
But
well, what were your options then? I mean, what were you supposed to be doing after you graduated?
well, I had orders to go to Freeman Field in Seymour, Indiana. There were 10 days. We had 10 days leave.
Okay.
And then I had to report to Seymour, Indiana, June 1st.
And you got there by train?
Yes.
Okay.
That was another train ride, I remember. And getting off and taking the cab out to the base.
Oh my goodness.
And
were you being paid during this period of time? Did you have a salary of some kind?
Yes, we got $200 a month.
Oh.
We got the same, I think the same as the officers got at that time.
$200 a month during that's a lot of money, actually.
And,
wow.
But see, we had to pay for our own lodging and everything.
Yeah.
So
your expenses were not covered. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're in the service while they stayed. Well, but I was lucky because I got to stay in the nurses' quarters on the base.
Oh.
They didn't know where to put me when I got there.
It's all men.
Yeah.
Almost all men there.
Well, there were 2 other WASPs there, but they were living in town. And so when I got there, they said if I wanted to live in the nurses' quarters, I could live there.
Okay.
And so that was convenient because then I could walk to the fight line. And,
give us an idea of this base. Is this a big place?
it was a good-sized base. It was the training, advanced twin engine training school.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And in fact, the field is still there, and they have reunions now for people that were stationed there to go back.
So the nurses were there in training, or these nurses?
No, they were nurses. There was a base hospital.
Hospital. So this is a big place.
It was a good-sized base.
Yeah. All right. What was your daily routine like during that period? You're living with the nurses. There's 3 other. You said 3 others or 2 others?
No, there were 2 others.
2 others in town.
We were all assigned to the maintenance hangar.
Okay.
And so we did test flights. And
so in the morning you would go there to the flight line. And what did you do?
Well, if there was usually a flight that had to be tested every day, and if there wasn't, well, lots of times there were other personnel from the base that had to be flown to one of the other bases or supplies or something, and we'd do those flights.
What kind of airplanes are we talking about?
It was an advanced twin engine AT-10 trainer.
You're still in trainers?
Yeah.
So even though you're ferrying people to destinations around that area, you're still doing it at a trainer?
It was it was a good-sized trainer. It had the 2 seats.
2 seats. Somebody comes to the base and they need to fly to X somewheres, and so you would get an assignment saying you need to go here. How did you know how to get there?
Well, we had to check through operations, base operations, and flight map, and
what were the maps like in those days? I mean, you flying by landmarks?
Mostly landmarks, and I did well during training. We did have instrument training, so I had an instrument license. We never flew actual instrument flights, but we had the link trainer, so we got our instrument rating, and the only radio communication at that time was a beam, and you flew the one. It was dot dash or dash dot. If you flew on the beam, you got the solid signal.
Okay.
If you got off the beam on the right, well, you get one signal, and off on the left, you get the other signal.
These are not open cockpit now, though, are they?
No.
Now you have closed cockpit. Okay. What were you dressed at this time? What were you wearing?
Well, after we graduated, then we did get a uniform, and we had to pay for our uniform, though. It was a blue. They called it Santiago blue. And it was a jacket and slacks and a skirt and a purse and a hat. And
the slacks you wore when you were flying, and the skirt you wore when you were in formal kind of things like that.
And the one time when I was flying, I had to go to Cincinnati, I think it was, and I had my slacks on. And I had a flat tire when I got up there, so I had to stay overnight. And they wouldn't let me in the dining room of the hotel because I had slacks on. And I said, well, this is the uniform, this is all I have. I'm sorry, you can't eat in here.
See, I was just going to ask about that. It's it's amazing to think about that time. Women in slacks. Today, jeans. I mean,
it's the common apparel now.
Yeah, but they wouldn't let you in. They wouldn't let you in to eat because you had slacks on. There's 3 of you then at this base, basically doing the same types of things, right? Just you were talking about testing out aircraft. What did that entail?
Well, if one of the cadets came in and said that something was wrong with the plane, we'd take it up for a test flight and see what was wrong, and then maintenance would work on it. And then after engine change, it had to have so many hours of slow time on the planes, and we do that. And so we were busy. There were 3 of us.
Was there any social life?
Yes. That's where I met my husband.
Okay. Let's get down to it here. Well, what happened?
there was, well, there wasn't really much social life on the base, except for the married people that were on the base. But there was, some of the married people accepted me very well, and, and we would do things together. And they were friends of my husband's, so we would do things together.
Well, how did you meet him?
Well, he happened to be a check pilot, and
okay.
I had to be checked out in the AT-10. So
you're in your slacks and your uniform, and you walk up to meet this guy you've never seen before.
Well,
right?
I was supposed to be checked out by somebody else, but then he said, "Let me do it."
Oh, really? You realize, of course, I'm going to interview him, and I'm going to get his side of the story.
So yeah, that's how I met him, and then he said, "Would you like to go out for dinner and things like that?" So.
Oh my goodness. How long was that period of time in terms of your dating? You were still going to work and everything, but now you're dating. You're going to dinner, movies, things like that. Okay. All right.
He had been an instructor there for a couple of years, and so he had quite a few friends there, and so we did quite a few things off the base.
Did you like him from the beginning?
No, I was scared of him.
Because he was an instructor with experience.
He was so strict.
Oh my goodness.
I can remember the one time coming in for a landing, and he cut the engines on me, and I had to quickly respond. And he was a good instructor, very good.
Wow. That's wonderful.
So.
That's wonderful. I'm going to ask him the same questions, by the way. I know in my parents' case, I talked to my dad about how he met my mom and how my mom met his. That sometimes the stories don't always always sync up.
Well, that's it. I was walking down the road to the flight line, probably a week after I'd been there, and he came along, wanted to know if I wanted to ride, and I said, "No, I'll walk." So I wasn't too sure at first.
Yeah. How long was that period of time when you were working? Where'd you go next from there?
I stayed there because the program ended then in December of '44.
Okay.
This was June of '44 that I went there. In September, we got a notice that the program might be disbanded because the vote was coming up in Congress whether to make us a part of the military. And it didn't pass. And so the program was going to be disbanded in December.
What is WASP?
Women's Air Force Service Pilots.
But they were not considered part of the American military.
No. It wasn't until 1977 that Congress approved the legislation to make us part of, to give us veteran status.
Yeah.
And then it took 2 years after that. We were finally discharged then. We hadn't been in the service, but we got our discharge, an honorable discharge. So it was, there was a lot of politics going on at that time. And,
so technically in the military, but if you didn't get discharged, that means you're in the military. And if you're in the military for some 30 years or something, that's amazing. How did you hear about the VE Day, the victory in Europe? Do you remember the victory in Europe? The Nazis have been defeated.
Yeah, I was trying to think if that's. I remember when the Japan.
Okay, all right.
But I don't remember about VE Day.
Okay, all right. But you were still there. You were still at that training base, or when you were doing the fair.
I don't think so.
Okay.
When was VE Day?
Well, it was May of 45.
See,
yeah.
The base was closed. Yeah, and I was out by then.
You were already out of
yeah.
out of the WASPs.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think we were out in Dodge City, Kansas at that time because he was still in the service. And,
well, did you get married at that time?
I got married in August.
Oh, okay.
Of '44.
Well, all right, so you meet him for the first time. He's very intimidating because he's this instructor. He's very strict, okay? But he is dating you. He's wooing you. Did he pop the question there? Or okay.
Yeah. And,
so he asked for your hand in marriage.
So we got married there on the air base. And one of the other WASPs had met her husband there, and they were supposed to get married that date, and he outranked the other fellows, so they had to wait a week.
Well, what about your respective parents, his parents and your parents? They were not there, right?
No.
Did you
They didn't really approve.
really?
No, they thought, it was sort of hasty, but it was. And,
They were
but
concerned
thought-
because it's just a military and you're just meeting this guy
Yeah,
very short period of time.
Yeah.
But you stuck together for how many years?
Well, 61 now.
Wow.
So it worked.
It worked.
It worked. It's amazing, other couples too that I know at the same time that knew each other just a short period of time, they're still together.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. The experience then during the period of time as a WASP there, did you go outside of that area? Were you pretty much, that was your military service was there? Okay.
I got orders to go to Panama City, Florida to B-26 training for tow target. And it was just at the same time that I got the notice that the program was going to be disbanded. So
Okay.
instead of going to Florida and having to turn right around and come back, we could resign. And so I resigned in October.
Okay.
And the program was disbanded in December.
Did you have any idea at that time that you were part of what we now know as the WASPs, okay, and there's a lot of publicity about it, and it's part of American history now, but did you have any idea that you were part of this groundbreaking, new pioneer, all those kind of words that you probably didn't use back then? Did you have any idea back then?
No, and it wasn't until really after, well, for 20 years afterwards, or 40 years afterwards, because it was from 1944 to 77, when an article came out in the paper that the first woman pilot for the military was graduating from the Air Force Academy. And that stirred things up. The WASPs got busy then, and with the help of General Arnold's son, he lobbied to get the legislation through that we were part of the military.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for that 40-year period, nobody knew who the WASPs were, really.
Once you resigned from the program, you're married. Where did you go from there?
Well, the base closed there then in
Okay.
December too,
Okay.
the 1st of January. So from there, we went to Dodge City, Kansas.
You and your husband? Okay.
And then,
He was assigned there?
yes.
Okay.
And then to San Antonio, Texas, and then Douglas, Arizona.
Okay.
Because the war was ending. In fact, when we were on the way back from Douglas, Arizona, that's when the Japanese surrendered.
Surrendered. You hear it on the radio or?
In the car. I think
was
we were
your
in the middle of
reaction?
Kansas then.
Oh, gosh. What was your reaction?
Oh, just thrilled that it was going to be over with,
Yeah.
you know, that
Was your brother already back?
I don't remember.
Okay, all right.
I don't think so.
Okay. Because I'm just thinking
Yeah.
the relief must have also been
yeah.
directly related to your brother's
yeah.
finally going to get back. Well, what did your husband decide to do after the VJ Day was? Where did you go?
Well, then he stayed in a while. He was sent to Japan after the war.
Oh, occupation of Japan.
Occupation
You stayed
of Japan.
behind?
I stayed here.
Okay.
I was all set to go over there, but because he had no previous overseas experience, he was an instructor during the war.
Yeah.
I'd get to the top of the list, and then I'd go to the bottom of the list for dependents, because others that had overseas experience were chosen first.
How long was he overseas?
He was about 18 months.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Maybe a year, but it was quite a while.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Where did you stay?
I stayed at home with my parents.
With your parents? Okay. All right. All right. And you communicated by letter? Okay. You didn't keep any of those?
No.
Oh! All right. Okay.
I didn't think about it at the time.
No, I know. I understand. I understand. When you were staying at your parents' house, what did you do for livelihood? I mean, did you just stay there and or did you go to work or?
I got a job at Christmas time downtown in Grand Rapids, and but then I had a child, one child,
Oh, okay.
so I stayed.
Okay, so you
Stayed
became
home,
a
helped
mother.
them out.
Yeah, yeah. What about flying though?
I went out to the airport to keep up my license, but I finally decided it wasn't worth it because unless I could fly for a purpose,
Yeah.
just to rent a plane and fly around to keep up my time, I didn't. I did it for a while, but And I thought, well, this is...
Was there any thought on your part to become a pilot commercially, or were there opportunities?
Not many opportunities, not around here. There were in California, in areas like that where there were a lot more aviation enterprises. There were more opportunities, but around this area there weren't.
And you wanted to stay here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because of family, because of...
Yeah. Well, and then when he came back from Japan and got out of the service, he stayed in the reserve.
Okay.
And kept going to Selfridge Field once a month for training. And,
well, why didn't you move back to where he lived?
Well, there wasn't anything over there. You ever heard of Cuba City, Wisconsin?
No.
That's where he was from.
Okay. Not a lot to do in Cuba City.
We were over there. He was looking for work over there in Milwaukee or around that area. But then one of my parents' neighbors knew of an opening here, so we came back here, and he worked for that company for 30 years.
Wow. Okay. So you settled down, Grand Rapids, and raised a family, and. When you were living your life as a wife, as a mother, your husband is working, were there ever thoughts of nostalgia for flying and all that?
Very much so.
Yeah? Well, tell me about it.
No, that's it. I still, as soon as I hear an airplane, I look up. But that's it. I always had wished that I had kept on flying some. Mm-hmm.
There's nothing like it, huh?
No. That's it. It was just when you're sitting up there and looking down on everything, you're in a different world. And it's really, it's a wonderful experience. I don't care about flying commercial now because they go so you can't even see the ground at high altitude and cramped. But sitting in just a small plane flying around, it's just a different feeling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. When the 1970s arrived and the first woman was recognized, how did you find out about that, and what was your reaction to it?
There was an article in the Grand Rapids paper. Her picture was in, and I remember the first woman pilot for the military. Yeah. And I thought, that's not right. We were all of us were part of it, really. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So your reaction?
We flew every military plane there was, the WASP did, and even the B-29, some flew that.
Yeah.
And so. Mm-hmm.
Well, you saw this in the paper, and your reaction, as you just stated, was, well, wait a minute, this isn't right. I mean, I'm sure you were happy for her.
Yes.
Well, what happened after? What was the reaction?
Shortly after that, there was when I started getting letters about petitions for signatures to make us a part of the military, to recognize us as having been pilots for the military. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then soon afterwards?
It took quite a while. The Stars and Stripes paper kept sending us weekly issues telling us what was going on. And it took quite a while before it was finally approved.
See, I grew up on the Stars and Stripes. I know exactly what it was.
So I saved all those.
You do have those?
I have those.
Oh,
I have a lot of other things, but not letters.
Okay, all right. You are now forgiven. Okay. The process took a period of time, but once it was finally decided that they were recognizing you, what was your reaction to that?
Oh, I was glad to be recognized.
Yeah.
That's it, because I got my then got the discharge afterwards.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Did you feel you were part of the military the whole period of time you were in?
While we were training and while I was at Seymour. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As I say, you had to follow military orders.
Yeah.
Everything. So.
A similar thing happened. I interviewed several nurses. They were Red Cross. They weren't military. They were Red Cross. And then finally, they were military nurses. And it's you look back on that period of time, and then flash forward to now, and we take these things for granted today. Nobody, I won't say nobody, but there just seems to be this forgotten part of the pioneers that were involved. And I know you never thought of yourself as a pioneer, but really, I mean, when you stop to think about it, I mean, you broke ground for people. You gave opportunities to people that are 20 years old today and have all these options, all these opportunities.
That's it. They recruit women for the military now, where at that time, well, it was even the nurse, the Navy. I think the women weren't actually in the Navy until after a period of time when they were really considered part of the military.
That's what happened to Mary Jean. Did you follow the career of Cochran?
Yes, because we had reunions.
Oh.
And she was a part of the reunions. And then she even invited all of us out to her ranch in California for one of the reunions that was out there. And she was the real pioneer in women's aviation.
Well, she was the public face of it, and and as you say, you know, she really pushed for it.
There was Cochran and Amelia Earhart and Nancy Love. They were really the three prominent women pilots. But there was one way back before that. I know I have a book, The History of Women in Aviation, and they started out more or less as, you know, hanging from balloons and different things, you know, in circuses and walking wings and that type of thing. But the first woman pilot, I think, got her license in about 1929, something like that. So,
These reunions that you referred to, the ones that Cochran was at, what was that experience like? You're amongst all these fellow pilots. You don't know very many, or maybe don't know any of them, but you're part of a common group, though. You're.
That's it. Those of us that were sort of in the same class, sort of, you know, would go to the reunions and stay more or less with the people from those classes. But then those that were stationed at different bases, they had contact with the others. And I know here in Michigan, there's about 8, I guess, in Michigan now.
Okay. Because of my father, I'm very closely related to the Flying Tigers and the Flying Tigers reunions. And I feel that sense of family because they were part of a common experience. Did you feel that way with your group?
When you're with them, you do. Yeah, that you're all part of one big group.
And now that you've been recognized, now that the world knows what a WASP is, and it's in the books and whatnot, when you go to a reunion, is there more of a sense now of this sharing of this experience, this feeling of belonging to this group?
Well, that's it. There's, you know, fewer and fewer every year, and so the reunions are getting smaller. They still have the reunions every 2 years.
Okay.
I didn't go to the last one in Washington, but and then just about a month or so ago, there was it wasn't an actual reunion in Washington, but we were invited to come and go through the White House, and I didn't get to that either.
Oh, okay.
But that's it. The group is stuck together, you know, and trying to carry on the legacy. And there's certain ones that have really been promoting the legacy of the WASPs and trying to do things that they will be remembered.
They should be. This is, you know, and we were talking earlier before we actually started the oral history interview, but so many of the vets that I talked to, you know, they were, of course, 20 years old, 19, 21, 22, and you're focused on what you're doing, and your world was falling apart around you, and you had to do your part to make sure that we have the freedoms that we have today. I guess it's amazing to me because I was one of the lucky ones that didn't have to go to war. And you're part of a story that will live forever. Let me ask you this. Your experience in the WASP, in the military, we'll call it that since they finally recognized it in the 1970s, how did that shape you as a person?
Oh, I get upset now with the protesters and people that disregard not disregard, but have no respect for the flag and things that go on now. I think they have no idea what people went through to make the country as it is, and to protest and do that type of thing. I get upset with them.
Yeah, no, I understand.
You raised a family. Did you instill into your children the values that you got from your parents, the education, for example? Did you really stress to them the importance of education, stress to them the importance of being who they are, to find their own voice?
I think so. That's it. I have 5 children, and one didn't go to college. No problem there, but but the others all did, and they've all turned out very well.
Good.
Because
I was very impressed with the fact that when we first started this interview, you talked about your parents stressing education, stressing how important it was for you. And when you stopped to think about the number of women of your generation whose parents basically said, get married, have kids, all right, you want to be a nurse, all right, be in it. But they encouraged you to go beyond.
I probably didn't as much with my children. I don't know. Tried to, but I probably not as much as my parents did, because it was really important to them. And as I say, when I got the notice I could go in the WASP, they said, finish your education first. And so I said, I will. And, because I respected them for what they had gone through to put me through college.
Let's go back to moments that you remember from the WASP period. I mean, we've gone chronologically through here. We kind of walked you through. But are there any stories that kind of stick out for you? Things that happened when you were a WASP, either on a flight or...
I remember one flight. It was a cross-country, extended cross-country flight, and it was in advanced training. We had to take I think, 500-mile cross-country flight, and it was from Sweetwater through Oklahoma and Arkansas and I think Louisiana and Mississippi, around that area. And of course, we had our instrument training at that time, but we had never flown instruments. And it was in the spring, and there had been a lot of flooding in the southern states, and we had to fly over all this flooded land. And the clouds kept coming lower and lower. And I got through to my destination, but quite a few of them landed at other fields. They didn't go through it. So, and I remember that flight in particular.
Yeah.
And
that must be strange, being flying over and just seeing water where land is supposed to be.
Yeah.
I've lived through
and treetops.
Treetops
and water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've lived through a flood myself, and of course I lived it from the ground, but we had to swim out. But what other kind of experiences, either with friends or something? Was there a particular?
One of my classmates that I was very close to was killed during training, mid-air collision, and they were looking for somebody to accompany her body home, and I said I would, and of course we had to pay our own expenses for that too. If you were killed in training, well, even afterwards, there was no military benefit. You had to pay for your own. But then one of the other girls who had to wait, something had happened in her family, and she had washed back to a different class, and she was available to take her, so she did. But I remember that coming into the field and having them say that this friend had been killed. So there were about 20, I think, that were killed during training, or after training. Some of them on ferrying flights too.
What kind of airplanes did you fly? You already mentioned the Stearman. What other kind of aircraft did you fly?
We went right from the Stearman to the AT-6. We were the first class to do it. Instead of going through basic training in the BT-13, we went right to the AT-6 and had our next cross-country and acrobatics and training in the AT-6. Now my husband said he never had acrobatics in the AT-6. They wouldn't let them do it, but they let us do it. We had to do it. And then after we finished the AT-6, then we went back to the BT-13, which was the basic trainer for instrument training and instrument flights. And then we went back and finished up in the AT-6 again afterwards.
Okay. Approximately, maybe you know, but approximately how many hours did you put in your course of your career?
It was 500 and some flighting hours.
Wow. Yeah. Is there still a point
sometime you wake up in the morning, or maybe just before you go to bed, you think, God, I'd like to get into an airplane again?
Many times.
Have you flown?
Just a small plane. As I say, I don't care about commercial airlines.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you,
Yeah.
you've flown commercially then, right?
Yeah.
To go to different places. It's just not the same thing.
Nope.
Yeah. Well, I just...
Well, in fact, you asked about have I flown when they had the Muskegon Air Show
Yeah.
2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I think it'd be 3 years this summer now. They honored women in aviation. And the woman that flew around the world, a replica of Amelia Earhart's flight, asked me to fly with her around, make a couple circles around the Muskegon,
Yeah.
and fly with her.
Did you go?
And when I got in that plane, I couldn't believe how small the visibility was. I mean, there wasn't much to see, and it was crowded. And I thought, fly around the world in this, but it was an experience flying with her around just for that short time too. Wow.
Well, Jane, I want to thank you so much for sitting down with me and spending this time with me.
Oh, well, thank you for asking me.
I just, I'm.
That's it. When you reminisce like that, there's things you forget, and but certain things stand out in your life, and
Yeah.
it was.
Now, I need your commitment. I want you to partner with me here, and we're doing this on television right now for the record. You're going to convince your husband to come in and have an interview too. We need to talk to him as well.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, he isn't very well, but I'll.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll make arrangements. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
All right.
Oh, God.